Hey guys, welcome back to Auto Repair guys. In today's video guys, we will show you how to fix a cracked bumper if you don't want to buy one. Especially if you live in a place that you cannot get one guys, or it's super expensive. Okay, the best way is to buy a new bumper, right? But you've seen one of our videos, the most popular videos is a bumper repair on a C-Max with close to 2 million views. And the bumper is still good guys, two years later and it's still in perfect condition. So this one right here guys, check it out. It's for the Mercedes that we're rebuilding, and the bumper is cracked, okay, right here, big time, and on top as well. This thing is nothing. We fix bumpers way worse than that. Stay with us to see how to make that thing like brand new again. It's gonna take some time, but it's a very inexpensive method. Okay guys, so now this crack, okay, right here, you can see how it follows that line. In order to stop the crack guys, you have to get a drill, okay, and you need to drill a hole at the end of the crack, that way it will not spread more. Okay, just like that. Okay guys, so we are going to get a few holes now, and we'll get a zip tie. Okay, and we're going, okay, to get the zip tie through the holes. Okay, all that will not be visible later. You have to guys check the end result. Stand till the end to see. And just get the zip tie tight. Okay, you have to make sure that the two pieces come together where they're supposed to. Okay, follow the line. Okay, perfect, like that. Okay, we continue making more holes for zip ties. Get another one. Okay, you're going to see how the crack will start closing. And even if you're missing a piece of it guys, okay, it's still doable. We have the video, you can check it out in the description below how to do that. We were missing a whole chunk of a bumper and we were still able to repair it. Okay, we just need to get this one tight now. Okay guys, you can see how it's getting close together. Okay, so we'll do two more and we'll come back. Okay, we're going to cut the zip ties so they don't stick out like that. And you can sand the area that we're going to be fixing guys before we do the zip ties. If you're using machine it will be easier that way. If you're doing it by hand, again we forgot to do on that piece, but what we're going to do, okay, we'll just sand about 2 to 3 inches out of the area, okay, that we're fixing. Okay, we'll get a new piece of sandpaper. We usually go with about 100 or 120. Okay, and we'll just sand the area now. Okay, we'll get 80 sandpaper now and do by hand, okay, the spots that we cannot get with the machine. So we'll just go ahead and sand, you have to sand everywhere around the crack and about 2-3 inches out guys. You need that coarse sandpaper because the glue that we'll be using, okay, actually will go in the scratches, and that way it will not peel off or crack in the future. If you do the repair right, don't expect cracks. Okay guys, we're done with the inside. Now we're going to sand the outside again, about 2 to 3 inches out of the area that we'll be working. Okay, and you gotta make sure that you don't have that shiny look. It has to be all scratched up, and in some cases it's easier to do it before we install the zip ties. That's why we'll be doing it on top right there. Okay, so we'll do the rest and come back to it, guys, so I don't waste your time, and show you what it needs to look like. Okay guys, so you can see we don't have that shiny look like here. Okay, it needs to be all scratched up looking, so you don't have any paint shine. Okay, here as well, and on the bottom you can see how we did it here. Okay guys, check it out. Now we installed 3 more on this side. Okay, so we're done on the bottom, we're done on top now. I didn't want to waste your time watching how to do 3 more, just the same way we installed the other ones. Alright guys, we'll get acetone, use gloves, use face mask, okay, and we're going to clean the inside and outside. You have to make sure that you don't have any greasy spots, any dust and things like that, because otherwise the epoxy will not work. Okay, so make sure you clean it good. Some places, even though it looks dirty, just the way the plastic is, so that's fine, but not to have dust and greasy spots. And we'll do the same to the outside as well. And we'll proceed with the next step soon. Alright guys, so what we're using next, this is an epoxy quart. It's very inexpensive. We'll have the links for everything we use in the description of the video, but if you don't have that, you can use actually a medical gauze. The one that, if you know, when you get hurt, you put on top of the hurt spot. So we'll cut, okay, 2 pieces, one for here, one for the other side, and you can do 1, 2, 3 layers depending how strong you want it to be. We'll probably do 1 or 2 layers because it's pretty strong. So let's continue with the next step. Next we're going to get some tape, actually, painter's tape, and we're going to apply on the front where we have the hose so the epoxy doesn't leak out of it. Don't worry about it, later we're going to remove all that stuff, but that way if the epoxy is a little bit more liquid, even though it's fast setting epoxy, we want it to become as strong as possible. So we got some Gorilla Glue epoxy right here. It's fast setting, 5 minutes set time, so you have about 3-4 minutes usually to work with, depending on the temperature again. So we got container and a half, okay, and we mix it, okay, right here, so we're ready to apply now. Okay, we will get a brush, okay, so we can apply to the area there. You can get those brushes very inexpensive as well, because once you're done with it, you won't be able to reuse it. Okay, you can see, perfect. Now next thing that we will need to do, we will need to get the quart, okay, and place it on top. You always have to use gloves, guys, for that purpose. Also, it's recommended to use a face mask when you work with that stuff. Okay, we made holes where the zip ties are so that it can go down. Okay, and after that we'll put more epoxy on top of it. Okay, we're going to do a second layer on top now, and you need to press down so it goes in the quart. Okay, and that thing will become super strong. That's kind of like the way they build the boats, jet ski, things like that. Okay, so you can see the quote becomes almost invisible. It goes in the epoxy. And you can do 2 or 3 layers depending how thick and strong you want it to be, but usually 1 layer will be plenty, to be honest with you. We'll do exactly the same procedure on the little spot here. I'm not gonna waste your time. We'll just place the quote and place more epoxy on top of it. Gotta make sure that you have in the crease there. Alright guys, so we are going to let it set for 24 hours, okay, before we proceed with the next step. Okay, it's almost dry to the touch, but you have to let it stay for 24 hours to be strong. So let's see how it's going to look. So on our Fiesta, guys, ST, that bumper, we fixed it exactly the same way we're doing now, but this thing was having a hole, big hole, so we used the Mazda 3 bumper, front bumper, and the Fiesta rear bumper, and we built our custom bumper. Okay, you can see with epoxy. 2 years later, still no cracks or anything like that, looks great. The only thing that we need to fix on the bottom right here, we're going to put carbon fiber. Okay, so that will be coming soon with the epoxy. Pretty cool stuff. So it's been about 24 hours, okay. We removed some of the tape, it's hard as rock. Check it out, this thing. Okay, it's hard, really hard, so it holds the bumper really good. This is what it looks like on the inside. It's pretty much really strong. So now we will have to, what do we have to do later? We will have to grind the zip ties on the inside and the outside. We're going to sand it as well, so stay with us and we'll proceed with the next step. So we'll have the grinder here now, okay, with the grinding wheel, and make sure that you use eye protection and face mask as well when you grind plastics. Okay, so we're going to make everything smooth on the outside and prepare it for the bondo. And we made it a little bit, we went a little bit in the crack here, okay, so we can smoothen it really good later, and the fiberglass bundle will hold even better. You can see how strong that thing is. It doesn't crack or anything like that, no matter how much you move it. It's still flexible. People will say it's not flexible, but it is just like the regular bumper. So we'll do the rest to the bottom right here, and we'll proceed with the next step. So we're done with the outside for now. We have to do something else as well. On the inside, most of the times you don't even have to worry about it, but this one on the Mercedes, they have brackets right here. So that one will be in the way. So what we will have to do, okay, this is the bracket, or that's actually, let me see, right here. And you can see that it gets in the way here, so we need to grind it just a little bit so we can make it smooth. So we did grind the top of the zip ties, so they're not in the way. And let's see what we're going to do next. Next we'll get some sandpaper. Usually we go with 100 or 120 on our sander. You can do it by hand as well, you don't need to have the sander for that, but since we have it, it saves us quite a bit of time, and we can make the videos a little bit shorter that way, so we don't waste your time. And we'll just sand about 2 inches out of the area that we'll be working at least, okay? So we are done sanding, and now we need to clean everything really good. You might have to get a few spots by hand. If you have the machine, you won't be access everything with it. So we'll just touch up a few places, and then we need to clean it with acetone or rubbing alcohol, everything, to make sure that we don't have any greasy spots. So we'll get some acetone. Always use gloves with acetone. You can use rubbing alcohol as well. We have to clean the area that we will apply Bondo, because if you have a greasy spot, guys, it's not going to stick good, and in the future it's going to crack. And people will say that the bumper will crack. We demonstrated that on that Fiesta second year. It's going strong on another C-Max for more than that, and we never had a problem. Even Mercedes ML, we rebuilt the bumper. You can check the video out. It was missing a whole chunk of the bumper, like a whole section, and it never cracked after that. So if you prepare everything the way you should, you shouldn't have any problems. And yeah, some people will say just go ahead and buy a new bumper, but it's your option. And in some places, if you live in the United States, you're lucky that you can get one, but there are places in the world that you cannot get a bumper even if you want to. So next that we're using, guys, is okay, right here, platinum body fuel. If you have a spot that's really low, it's really good to use a fiberglass jelly, but we won't need to in our case because ours is pretty good. We'll just need a very thin layer of the 3M platinum fuel right here. We usually buy a gallon because we used to fix so many cars, so we still have some left. We have, guys, links in the description of the video for everything that we use if you need to get anything. Okay, that's what it looks like. You have to make sure that you mix it. Ours, we used it this morning, so everything's mixed already. Okay, get some Bond. It's very important how you mix it now. We'll show you how you mix it, because if you don't mix it the right way, what will happen is you have air pockets, pinholes that we used to have in the past, and thanks to you, some of you suggested that we weren't doing it right and we learned our lesson. Okay, perfect. Now we need to get the activator, and we're going to apply a little amount of activator right here. Okay, that's good. Now, guys, never ever mix in a circle. Never ever do that. You have to press down and mix. Okay, press down and mix back and forth. Never ever mix in a circle, because when you do that, if you mix in a circle, you have air pockets in the bundle later. Okay, see, when you press it down, you can see how you get the air out of it. And you mix it until it's one uniform color. Okay, and we'll start applying a thin layer, okay, on the area that we worked already. And it really depends how much time you have to work with, depending on how warm it is and how much activator you apply. But usually you have a few minutes, about 3-4 minutes work time. If it's hot, it could be even less than a minute. So it's important to be out of the sun. On a day like that, today it's cloudy, so it's perfect. And we keep applying on the bottom there as well now. So we will let it stay for about a couple hours, usually 2-3 hours, and you can sand it. And you see how it's going to look. We might need to apply a second coat. Once we're done, we'll see if we have any low spots. If we have a low spot, we'll definitely need a second coat. So it's been a couple hours. You can see now the bondo. Okay, the bondo is ready to be sanded. It's hard. If you can scratch it with your fingernails, it means it's ready. So let's start on that now. So we're going to use the machine just a little bit on the top layer, and after that we're going to shape it by hand, because with the machine it's easy to really go through it fast and have a low spot again. So we'll just do a little bit now. After that we're going to get a bock and sandpaper, and we'll shape it by hand. You have to follow the body lines, okay? If you over sand it, you have to put more bondo and go over it again. So it's really different for every bumper, but just follow the body line and try to make it seem like nothing happened there. So we're done sanding. Okay, that's what it looks like. You can see when you follow the line, everything looks smooth. You don't have high and low spots. We installed our light, okay, to make sure that everything's good, and you can see it fits really good. Next thing, we're going to wet sand the whole thing. Stay with us. We'll spray primer and we'll be almost ready for paint. So next step, what we're going to do, we need to get a soft bock. We need to get 400 wet sandpaper. Okay, we got it right here. We'll get some water. It doesn't need to be hot or cold or anything like that, just normal water. Okay, dip the bock in the sandpaper, and we're going to sand the area that has been worked, and you need to come out, okay, at least 3 to 4 inches out on the big spots and about an inch on the small spots, so we can spray the primer. Okay, so you just dip and sand, okay, until it's very important not to have any shiny spots, and that 400 sandpaper is going to get the scratches out of the 120, and then we did 220 by hand. So we'll go ahead, do that on the whole thing, and come to the next step. So we went ahead and we actually sanded the whole bumper, wet sanded with 400, because we have spots almost everywhere, guys, that will spray primer almost on the whole bumper. Okay, we need to wash it good and you need to dry it. You have to avoid exposing it to water as much as you can, just wet sanding and washing it, and we'll proceed with the next step. So we're going to use a Max Fuel, okay, 2K high build-up primer right here, guys. We have mixed with the small gun. We have the small compressor that we're using right here. For small projects or a single panel, it works really good. It's a fast pumping compressor, not for like painting a whole car, but it definitely is a good investment. And next, okay, we're going to prime the spots that we already fixed. Alright guys, so that's what it looks like after 2 coats. We're going to sand it. After that I'm going to show you what we're going to do, and after that we'll be ready for paint. Stay with us to see how it's going to turn out. So it's been about 24 hours guys, it's hard, you can see. Now we can proceed with sanding it. So what we do, we're going to wet sand it with 320 sandpaper, and again we're going to dip in water. Okay, and we're going to use the bock. So if we have low or high spot, we're not going to leave it the way it is, and we also protected our edges. That's very important because otherwise you have scratched edges. Okay, so let me show you what it's going to look like now. And after that guys, we're going to go with a different sandpaper, and there is one more thing that we need to do before we get it ready for paint. Okay, so you can see how it stays in, like right here. Okay, that's a low spot there. You can see how the bond went in, the primer I mean, my bad. So we're going to do that to the rest of it, and we'll show you the end result. So that's what it looks like now. We're going to proceed with the next step, 400 on a soft block. Okay, we're going to use a soft block like that, and this one works really good. We're gonna be able to get the little spots now, and you have to be very careful with the edges because that's the first thing that you're going to sand through. So the same thing, we just dip the sandpaper in water and go again. This one will buff the scratches out of the 320. And at the end, we're going to rinse everything off. Okay, we are done now. Next, we're going to rinse it off really good. Gotta make sure you don't have any bond left, any primer on top of the bumper. And next, guys, we're going to dry everything really good. Let it dry for a few hours, preferably a day. And we're going to spray the last layer of primer, which will be very thin, and that way it will be ready for paint. So now we're ready. We're going to spray one more coat on the bumper, and we're going to cover the whole bumper, so that way it's ready for paint, and the paint will actually cover really easy. So let's go ahead and do that. It will be a thin layer, so you can see what it's going to look like. So it's been about 24 hours, guys. You can see bumper, okay, everything is hard, so it's ready to be sanded. We'll be using 600 wet sandpaper. Again, clean, warm water. Okay, we're going to dip and start sanding. So now it's important, guys, to be careful around the edges. Okay, very careful around the edges, because that's the first thing that will go. And you need to make it smooth and dull, okay, everywhere. And in the creases, it's very important to get in the creases, otherwise that's where the paint will peel if you don't sand it good. So once we're done, I'm going to show you what it's going to look like. So next we're going to rinse it off, the whole bumper. We're going to let it dry. You have to make sure that you don't have any dry Bondo anywhere, or primer, dust, anything like that. No grease spots, so don't use washing detergent or anything like that because the paint will not stick. Just clean water and a clean rack. And after that we will be ready for paint. And while it's wet, guys, you can check out for high and low spots. You can go in an angle like that and you'll definitely see if it's straight or not. Okay, and you can see ours looks amazing. It's perfect, it's smooth as glass. So let's shoot the paint and see what it's going to look like. So the bumper is ready to go for paint now. Next we're going to get a surface prep wipe. We have the links, guys, for everything we use in the description of the video. This one, preferably, you should wear gloves, okay, when touching that stuff, and that way you don't leave your greasy fingers on the bumper. Okay, this thing cleans it really good, removes all the grease. If you have oil from your fingers, wax or anything like that, it cleans it really good. It takes probably about 5 minutes to dry and be ready for paint. So that's the last step that we do right before we paint it. You can see on this side it already even almost started drying. We have a video how to find the paint color on the vehicle as well, and what paint website we use. They mix it really good, and usually the color match is amazing. So that's what we got here. Paint's ready. Assembling the gun now, and we'll start on the process of painting. So this is the paint filter that we use. It comes with the paint. That's what I like about that company. Nothing sponsored here, but they give you stirring sticks, they give you filters as well, so that's pretty good deal. When painting, guys, always use good quality mask, okay, because that thing is very dangerous. Paint, primer, clear coat as well, especially enclosed or even if you're outside, still wear good quality mask. Today we are going to spray about 3 coats of paint on the bumper and 1 or 2 coats of clear coat, depending how it turns out. We have the door there ready as well. So that's what the bumper looks like after 3 coats. Okay, we are waiting to dry now to the touch. Usually you should wait about 30 minutes at least before you spray the clear coat. You can see the area that we fixed, everything looks great there. And also on this side, and we are waiting on the door because we'll be painting the door at the same time. This is the clear coat that we are using, made by Finish One. Depending on the temperature you can use different activator. This one is slow, even though we need more like fast right now because it's cold, but you have to be careful with the slow activator because you might develop runs really easy. You have that drop looking thing on the clear coat. So let's go ahead and clear coat now. So you can see we painted the door, guys, the bumper right here. We are done with it as well. We put everything together. That's what it looks like, okay, after we painted it. So let me go a little bit slower. You cannot even notice. Let me go to the damaged side, show you from the back that it's still the same bumper, because some of you will say that it's not. Okay, you can see looks great. And on the back side we still have our repairs right here, the zip ties on the bottom as well. Here I just spray them with a white paint. I have a little bit left over. when we painted the bumper, so you can see guys, that's how amazing it looks. So thank you guys for watching, please subscribe, many more videos to come.